time is it due?
26.
26?
26.
26 what?
After?
Oh, okay, what's your status? Are we on time? Or are we early?
You're early by 3 minutes.
Get a drink, friends. Get some water. Or whatever your beverage of choice is. We'll wait a couple minutes till it's time, I guess. I'll walk as fast.
Alright.
So it started a couple minutes early.
Jane Bentley says late night snacking.
And come closer to the microphone.
Okay.
Get a drink, friends.
Hey Isabella, thank you very much. She said thanks to the awesome community.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
This would not be possible without him. He's my technical support. He's my tech guy.
Ooh.
Get a drink. Get a phone charger. Plug it in. You don't want your battery to run out. So, what are we celebrating today?
National Pierogi Day! Yay!
Who would have thought? Can you see me? Can you hear me? If you can, type hello or type yes.
Greetings from Toronto, from Marianne. Hello, Marianne. Craig says woohoo, woohoo, back to you, Craig.
Do you know Craig?
I don't know.
One more minute. Can you hear us? Are the responses to can you hear me? Nod?
Talk.
Back.
Yes, yes, yes. Sitting here, Scarborough. Hello, hello. Dave Adams says, hello from Alabama, USA. We make pierogi every year for Christmas. Good man.
You good, good man. I think we are at,
We are at
30
we
mark.
are at the 1830. We are ready to go. And we have on YouTube Greg Booted. Greetings from Minnesota. Later, fellow
Hey.
Northerner.
that's our neighbor day.
That's right. Hit it.
Alright, I think we're going to get started. Hello, my hungry friends! Welcome to my Polish kitchen. We are in Poland right now. It is 0:30 in the morning the next day. Cheers to that. We are celebrating. Hello, Mr. Cameraman.
Hello. I was reading. We are celebrating National Pierogi Day.
National Pierogi Day. You are hearing the voice of my lovely tech support.
I don't know about smart, but I always have remarks.
He always has something to say.
That's true.
Hello, friends. Tell us where you are. Tell us the city or state, whatever you feel like posting in there. Mark is watching the comment section, so he's going to be letting us know some of your comments and your questions or whatever you want to tell us. Just type it in there and just don't click on links that look weird. I just saw one. Yeah. If it's not KosherKitchen.com, don't click on it.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of
Well, Linda Herman, hi from Wisconsin. Hello, Wisconsin.
Hello, Wisconsin. So again, welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Again, it is late here in Poland. We're glad to be with you. We are always very thankful for your support. We love that you like watching us and watching my channel and listening to Mark, I guess. We are very much appreciative of your support through the merch store, and I see you guys liking the new designs and aprons and t-shirts and hats, so that's very much appreciated. The book is selling. Thank you so much for that. My mini book that came out last November, Kosher Kitchen, a Book of Memories, Christmas edition, is a book that is available via Amazon. It's 30 recipes, 30 Christmas recipes of foods that were served in my home, and I talk about how the traditions of Christmas look in my house. So if you care to find out, get yourself a copy, and there's a recipe for pierogi in here too, which we're talking about today. So thanks for your support. We very much appreciate it. And also big thank you to those who support our channel via PayPal. And if you'd like to also do that, you're more than welcome to. We post a link to all of our support channels in the comments below or in the event after this is done today. And if you'd like to rewatch, this will be also available on YouTube afterwards. So thanks for sticking around. We have some we have some giveaways to do today. We're going to be giving out the book and some merch of your choice. So stick around, we'll draw names, and it'll be fun. So, what's the plan for today? Chat instead of cooking. So, funny story. We had a batch of pierogi prepared for this evening, and about an hour before this started, we realized that child ate the pierogi. So I think we have broken a record of making pierogi today, right, babe?
Hell yeah, under 10 minutes.
Maybe not 10 minutes, but it took us, I think, 22 minutes. Thankfully, I had some boiled pierogi, boiled potatoes in the fridge. I mixed it up with some farmer's cheese and some onions, and voila. Gorgeous pierogi garnished with bacon and onions. What do you say?
I say it's yummy.
Yeah. All right. Hope your phones are charged and ready to go. Let's get going. We are going to be talking about National Pierogi Day. And this is fun because this is a holiday that is only, I believe, celebrated in America. We don't celebrate pierogi in Poland, sadly, but we eat a lot of them, don't we?
Oh yeah.
So I employed my husband to research this topic, and he came out with some fun facts.
So, fun fact is there's not a lot of information on National Pierogi Day on the old interwebs. What I did find out was that after World War II, pierogi became more and more popular, being served in restaurants and then eventually in grocery stores, frozen and things like that. And what you call pierogarnia over here, or pierogi restaurants, pierogi joints, started popping up. And according to thenationalday.com, they're still trying to research more about the history of National Pierogi Day. So while it is a fantastic day, there doesn't seem to be a lot of history that I could find on it. So we'll just celebrate it.
It was sitting in their garage and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
we should make this, or maybe like a pierogi producer.
Maybe.
Like, hey,
Maybe.
I need to sell more of these.
Yeah, like Zales invented the
Yeah,
engagement ring. Yep.
Okay, before you go on about the non-history, can you tell us where people are tuning in from?
Absolutely. We have from Pennsylvania, Australia, West Plains, Missouri. Let's see here, Wausau, Wisconsin, aloha. Winnipeg, Manitoba. Let's see here. I'm trying to see. I'm not technically advanced. All over Canada, Australia, mostly English-speaking places. Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Ohio, Orlando, Florida just popped up.
All right. Someone said video just stopped.
Well, there was some buffering issues earlier, but I'm monitoring it on ours, and it froze for 3 seconds. So.
All right. So more about Pierogi, National Pierogi Day. What are some fun facts?
That's about all that there was. That was the fun fact.
What about the race? You said something about a race.
Oh yes, Pittsburgh Pirates. Thank you very much. The Pittsburgh Pirates at every single game have a pierogi costume race. So they put people in pierogi costumes and they run a track around the baseball field, and then the winner gets pierogi.
Oh,
So,
yummy.
yummy.
That's it?
That's it.
That's all we know.
I'm telling you, the history is not very long on National Pierogi Day. It's just mostly about eating
So
pierogi.
let's eat pierogi then,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. If you ever, there's been many questions about this, so I'm just going to answer it without putting a name, but if it comes up, the person will get the reference.
Kill that fan. Yep. People are hearing the fan, and that's what it is. It's the overhead. We were cooking. Sorry, guys.
My beautiful plate with pierogi right here. If you ever come to Poland and order pierogi at a restaurant, if you will, this is how they are served unless you require otherwise. So they'll be boiled. Normally, most of the time they'll be either frozen or just cooked prepped, and then they'll be dropped in hot water to be reheated, and then they would be a crasa would be put on top of it, which is the bacon dipped with onions. So this is a really traditional way of serving it, and I think this came up in one of the questions in the event in the comments, that if they're sauteed, we usually do that at home after they've been served, and when they cool down, we want to heat them up. We give them a little bit of butter and put them in the pan and we heat them. And then they bow them. So that's a little fun fact about pierogi. I have a jar of questions that you have submitted, and just to start the night off right.
Technical question, guys. Type if you can hear Anna better now. Let me know. Just a few people. Let me know so we kill that fan if it's better.
So what are they supposed to type in?
Just if they can hear us. If you can hear us,
Can
just
you hear us better, or can you hear us? Anyone say yes? We can hear you?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, so first question of the night is gonna get the person whose question will get wrong will get what you do. First question: you do a cup, an apron, or a book? Mark.
Cup. I'm sorry. I'm looking at. But on YouTube they can't hear us. Let me see what's going on.
Maybe I can turn it down.
I don't know. Keep going and we'll keep working it. YouTube can you hear us now.
Okay. First question, you said what? First question cut. We'll go to Michelle Shrunk. Thank you for your question. And Michelle's question is, what is the best way to make pilaf? I'm assuming this is a question about a technical way of prepping the dough. So normally what I do is I prepare the stuffing or whatever filling I'm going to use the day before, because normally I make a larger batch, and if you're making a filling that has to cook for a while, I don't want to spend my whole day just manning it. So I'll start the filling, I'll do other things, and this will just sit, and then the next day I'll prepare the dough, and I normally engage family members or normally daughter and mom, and we'll make the pierogi. So then I'll make the dough, and then roll out the dough, and I will always cook all of my pierogi all the way. And you only lay them out on trays, let them cool down all the way, and then eat whatever we eat if we're eating them that day, and whatever we're not eating, I will make sure it's cool all the way. Then I'll put the pierogi on the trays or in smaller containers with parchment paper in between layers, and put it in the freezer, and once it freezes real well, then I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, name the bag if I'm doing different things, and store them in the fridge. So they'll be boiled first, then frozen. And then when I want to eat them, when I'm ready to eat them again, I will take them out, put them in boiling water, frozen still, give them a little bit of, so they come back to life, I guess, and then I saute them sometimes too, or I'll just put them in the pan, in the frying pan, with a couple tablespoons of water, cover with the lid, let them steam for a couple minutes, open the lid, let the water evaporate, add a little bit of butter, and let them sit. So that's my method. And if you're wondering about pierogi dough, I have a recipe in the book, and I have a recipe on the website, poultrypicture.com. You can go into the pierogi and dumplings section, or you can watch, I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, Poultry Kitchen. I have one video on how to steal pierogi. I'm talking about 3 different methods. So a really short video, you can watch that. It's kind of fun to see that. And then I have a recipe for fruit pierogi, sweet filling, and I have a recipe for potato and cheese curd. So check it out. Alright, question number 2. This person is on the upper to the second. Mark, can you hand me a tissue, please?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
All right, YouTube, can you hear me?
Okay, this just cut off like this. Oh.
Do I have to write it in?
Jim Waiter is
Yep.
asking, are you married?
Sure am, Jim.
Mark's name.
Thanks for asking.
Sorry. He's taken. Question number 3. See, this is where you know you're getting old. Joyce Chishla Bankert. I have blueberries. Should I prepare the same way as the strawberries? Yes. Blueberries are actually easier to put into pierogi's filling because they're round and they don't have edges like strawberries can. Sometimes if you cut them into smaller pieces, so just take a few blueberries, put them in your dough. You can sprinkle, do a little sprinkle of sugar, and then seal them up and boil them. Bob's your uncle. Question number 3 is from Karen. Oh my goodness. Flash Hacker. both Polish and Slavic, are the pierogi the same on both countries as far as filling? What is the most common? My Slavic grandmothers made plum and farmer's cheese. Thank you. I don't know if Slovak or Slavic pierogi are the same. I can't say I have any experience in on what they do on their side of the border. Sorry guys, it's very itchy nose. I apologize. But we definitely do farmer's cheese filling that is sweet, the sweet kind, and we do farmer's cheese filling with potatoes that's savory. With the plum, we actually save the plums for a dumpling called knedle, and this is a potato dumpling, kind of bigger in size, and a little bit thicker dough with a plum in it. So I don't see many plum pierogi here in Poland at all, but we do love plums and we eat quite a bit of them. So I hope that answers your question. Everything good?
I'm still working sound issues.
Oh,
Keep on talking.
yeah. Sorry, guys. All right. This question is from Barb Skowroński Broderick. How do you store pierogi when you make ahead for holidays? As I just mentioned, I freeze them. So go back a couple questions, and there's the answer. There's quite a bit of questions, so thanks for submitting all those. Question from Antoinette Talowicz. When I was in Poland 2 years ago, the pierogi definitely tasted different than here in the USA. I would describe the dough as soft and not chewy. Why is this? They didn't seem to be fried in a pan. Oh yeah, as I just mentioned a little bit ago, the not boiling or not sautéing in butter. Normally in restaurants, like I said, they're just boiled. But the softness and the chewiness of the dough, probably, I mean, I can't know for sure, but if I had to guess, I would say that it comes from the dough not being rolled out thin enough. So I like my dough probably not to as thin. I would give a measurement, but it's kind of hard with dough. As thin as you can go, and then the chewiness is kind of taken out of them. Then you don't have like a lot of the dough around the filling. And also, if you add an egg to your dough, it makes the dough a little bit more stiff or hard, I guess. Egg working as a binding agent. So if you want to try making your dough softer, do we need to hook up a mic?
I'm giving it a whirl here, guys.
If you want your dough a little bit softer, try not adding the egg, so just water, salt, and flour, and just make a dough out of that. Don't mess around with sour cream in your dough. I think it just changes the structure of the dough so much that I don't like doing that. I think it screws up with the dough. I had a thought in my head too about.
All right. Well, what you're thinking? How are we sounding now, guys?
This is more complicated than we thought.
Yes, it is. All right. Seems like we got YouTube down okay, but Facebook was having problems. Facebook, what do you think now? Sound is much better.
All right.
It's more clear. All right. Hook it up there.
Hook it up. Just gotta monitor the battery on those phones, I guess.
Yes,
huh?
dear.
Another thing, when adding water to your flour, make sure the water is nice and warm. I would even say on the hotter side. It lets the gluten work faster, and it just makes the dough better. If you're also another way. There are many ways, I guess. Instead of the egg, add oil, water and oil. A little bit, obviously, less oil. I have a recipe for pierogi dough that always comes out for me. I don't mess with it. It's in the book. It's on the website. Check it out. It measures out always the same. Just work on, if you were to work on something, is the method of rolling your dough out. So let's try that. I think that answers that question. Good?
Everyone seems to be much more pleased now.
Okay. Alrighty. Urszula Sokol, which Sokol? Oh, in Polish. Witam, ja mam pytanie, jaki typ mąki jest lepszy do pierogów? Urszula wants to know what type of flour is best for pierogi. Again.
So does Georgia Wegger, and she just asked the same question on YouTube, so
okay.
that's handy.
Yeah. Again, you can try to find the best flour for pierogi. You can find best flour for this. Pastry flour would be the best, but again, work on your method. So get a good recipe, good amounts of ingredients, ratios, water to flour. Make sure your water's warm. Use all-purpose flour. Try that a few times. Just work on your method. Unbleached all-purpose flour, nice and warm water, some salt and an egg, and try to roll them out as thin as you can. If you add the egg, it'll hold the filling in the boil, so you won't have to worry about them falling apart. Watch the video on YouTube for my method. Don't let the water boil super bubbly when you're boiling them. It's just supposed to be simmering, little bubbles. When they float to the top, give them a couple, 3 minutes, and then take them out. So work on that. Do we have any more questions on there?
Let's see here we go. What type of flour sounds good? Greetings, lots of greetings. And did you say you could use pastry flour too? Comes from Elizabeth Hurley. Any tips for gluten-free dough?
Oh, yeah, the gluten-free. Yes, I did say pastry flour. But gluten-free, I don't have any experience in gluten-free flour, so I apologize. Maybe this is something I should put on my list to work on. But I do see gluten-free pierogi available in some of the pierogarnia, which is pierogi shops here in Poland. So I'm sure there's a method. I just will have to work on it and find out.
And then Paula asked, Paula Belovic, I'm not saying that right, I'm sorry, asked, she says that her recipe has milk in it, and would you warm the milk before mixing it?
So I would only use milk if I was making the sweet filling of farmer's cheese. I wouldn't use milk for any other filling. But if you do that, I would, yes, warm the milk. Yes? More?
Yeah,
Yes? No?
Hey, thanks, Linda. Sowash. She says great show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I got a question from Tamala Garski. What is the biggest difference between Poland and the USA? That is a great question. I'm not sure we have enough time for that. You want to take a hit at this one?
What was the question again?
What is the biggest difference between Poland and the USA?
Oh my goodness.
So for those of you who don't know us well, I was born and raised here in Poland. I was 25 years old when I moved. I moved to the United States as a mail order bride for my husband. I'm just kidding. He's not even listening. This is how I am. What
listening.
did I say?
Oh, no, I wasn't. I'm sorry, I was thinking about technical things. What'd you say?
I said I moved to the United States as a mail order bride.
No.
I moved to the United States and married my husband not as a mail order bride. And we lived in the States together for 18 years. and then decided that it was time to move back here. My husband's an American, so I think he would be the best to answer that question.
But I mean, there's so much that's different, but the things that drive me, the things that are, okay, the things that are different that are really good is a lot of things are built much more quality here than in the States. Houses, offices,
How about
cars. Food is I would say it tends to be higher quality in Europe in a lot of places than in a lot of places in the United States, unless you're going to a fine dining type place. But if you're going to, it's hard to put your finger on it.
It's hard to say
it is.
it in one sentence. This is a discussion that we could probably have over another kind of video setup like this.
But there's when I'm in America, there's things I miss about Poland. When I'm in Poland, there's things I miss about America. So I don't know. There's a lot of differences. Come on over to Poland and see for yourself.
But to help you answer that question, just so you know, we are expanding our or my YouTube. That's the dog. A YouTube channel to more videos. So you may have seen a short video on my Facebook page yesterday about Polish Your Kitchen's closed. It's not closed in the sense that we're shutting down shop. It's closed in the sense that on every Friday we're going to take you out and show you a little bit of culinary Poland. So this will hopefully answer your question a little bit more. We will take you out to restaurants and to open air markets and to bakeries and more restaurants, and we're going to start off with my hometown because we're here and we're close and there's lots to see. So head over to YouTube, Polish Your Kitchen. The channel is called Polish Your Kitchen, and subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified when a new video is posted. So there we go. What are you giggling about?
Georgia asked if when Mark will cook a Thanksgiving one dish for Thanksgiving like he does in the U.S. I was about to tell her I cook a big Thanksgiving meal every year for the people over here in Poland, and we invite all our Polish friends and some Australian friends that we have too, and we have a good time.
And they look forward to it every year, especially the what's the green beans? I'm talking to you.
The green beans, yes.
Green bean casserole. All right. Izabela Michnicki. My question is why Polish pierogi are so delicious and everyone I share with love them. I wish the process was a bit faster to make them. Why? You're probably just a great cook, Iza. That's your curse. Just keep cooking. And it's karma. You're sending good karma out to the world. It'll come back to you in trifolds and how do you say that?
In spades. I don't know. It'll come back in a lot.
Yeah. So keep cooking. The process, I wish it was faster too, but 22 minutes today. And you got 2 batches. All right. Mary Rose Zalutsky Eves. Farmer's cheese. My family prefers the grated farmer's cheese versus the ricotta texture kind. What kind of cheese used in Poland? So we use our dog is over here. She got a big cone on her, being loud and banging. Here in Poland, we use farmer's cheese, which I'm guessing this grated farmer's cheese is what you're referring to. We use it for the sweet cheese pierogi, and we use it for cheese and potatoes pierogi. We very rarely use the regular shredded cheese for any of our pierogi fillings, just because we like farmer's cheese that much. So if you're in Poland and you order potato and cheese pierogi, don't be surprised that it's farmer's cheese. Just make sure to clarify if this is what you want. So I prefer farmer's cheese versus ricotta. Ricotta is kind of similar, only it's made with I think, citrus to curdle it, and farmer's cheese is meant to mature, and it curdles by raising the temperature of not curdled milk, of soured milk. So there it is. All right, Tina Abel, do you have a recipe for the filling for blueberry or other sweet pierogi besides the prune ones? Yes, I do. I have a recipe for sweet pierogi on my website, polishkitchen.com. If you go up top menu to recipe index, you can go down to pierogi and dumplings, or you can type it in the search bar, either fruit pierogi or blueberry pierogi. And I also have a video on YouTube for how to make fruit pierogi, although I think I used strawberries for that one. There we go. And on the hour, even though it's 2 after, I'm going to do what are we giving out on this one?
Well, we gave a mug out before, right?
Yep.
Apron time.
Apron time. This is a lucky one. Apron goes to Becca Ditto. Is there a way to firm up fruit filling for pierogi? I feel like these are usually smaller and less dense than the potato cheese. To firm up fruit filling. So normally for fruit filling, I do whole fruit, not cooked like jam or something like that. It's just fresh fruit that will go in the dough. And normally best is, my personal best and probably favorite is blueberry, because they, as I said before, I like how they hold the form and they don't have edges to poke through my dough. So you can use even frozen and put them in the dough frozen. They'll thaw a little bit in the cook. Good to go. Apron goes to Becca Ditto. I will send you a message and you get to choose your design.
Elizabeth Hurley has a question. What about meat pierogi?
What about them?
I don't know. She just has the whole question.
Well, yes.
Elizabeth, what else would you like to know about meat pierogi?
Meat pierogi, yes.
Yes, we like it. It's
we like
very
them,
tasty.
Yes. Elizabeth Pleva, another meat pierogi question. Also, do you have a good meat pierogi recipe? I do have a good meat pierogi recipe. You can find it on my website, polishkitchen.com. But just briefly, I will say that best and original traditional Polish meat pierogi are made with meat that has been either boiled or cooked via roasting. For me, best way is to put a whole chicken in a big stock pot, bunch of vegetables, just as you would be making rosu, Polish chicken soup. Throw a bunch of beef in there, like a roast, cut or sliced or whatever, and make a big pot of stock, and then take out the meat, take it off the bone, take the chicken off the bone with everything, the skin, everything that comes off the bone. Take it off, mince the meat together with the vegetables, with the beef, make a nice smooth paste, not a paste, a filling. It's going to need a bunch of moisture. You can use that stock to add more moisture to the filling, and then fill your pierogi with some spices. And if you go to my recipe on my website for the meat pierogi, you'll see. I'm so sorry. I'm drinking carbonated water. You'll see what spices we use, and it's normally salt, pepper, and garlic, bunch of marjoram. So.
Sharon Sanyuk on Facebook wants to know how big do you make your circles?
I make my circles about 3 inches wide. And this is my little cutter.
Or you can grab a mason and show them.
Mason jar?
Mm-hmm. Or if you can't, I don't know if you...
Yeah. This is...
Yep, there you go. So, wide mouth mason jar.
I like this little cutter. because it's got thin edge, and it's cheap. I got it on Amazon years ago. I will post a link to. I gotta write it down. Link to cutter. It's handy. Just cut out circles. No big deal. Works every time. All right. Okie dokie. Alice Alievich. What designs do you use to seal the pierogi for different fillings? What shapes do you use for different fillings? Again, I normally use 3 methods, and if I'm making more than one filling, I will differentiate the filling with the pinching method. I have a super short video on my YouTube for how to seal. You want some of these? On my YouTube channel for how to seal pierogi 3 ways, and it's either pinching to kind of create this this little design, or another design that's more kind of shows nicer edge, and also one with a fork. So check that video out. And I like doing that when I'm making different fillings. And I know that if I use a fork, this is cabbage. If I use this pinching method, then it's meat or something like that.
Hi, Gene.
Hi, Gene. Who's Gene? You know Gene?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ski from back in Georgia.
Oh, cool. Ski. Barbara Schmidt. I want to make sauerkraut pierogies. Do you have a good recipe? Mine are always too wet. That's a great question. Sauerkraut has to be cooked. And this was kind of one of the surprises for me when I moved to America, that it seemed that Americans eat sauerkraut uncooked a lot, which means just taken out of a jar and heated up but not really cooked through. So I'm guessing this is what's happening. The sauerkraut is either being put in the dough without being cooked, or it's not cooked long enough. So the key is to, and I do have a good recipe for sauerkraut pierogi. Mine are with mushrooms. You can skip the mushrooms if you want, but I would at least do, for that recipe, again, you can go to my website. I know you want to say something, but just let me finish the thought. And skip the mushrooms, but saute an onion and get it nice and caramelized, and then add your cabbage and let it cook off all of the moisture. So then when you're putting it in the pierogi, it's not running out. If it's still running out, then add a little bit of butter and slowly cook off the moisture. That's my key. What is it? What do you got?
So the funny thing is one nice young lady on here said that her mom would say that your cutter is way too big, and that they make theirs half that size. Mm-hmm. 3 comments later, a gentleman says, well, it's Carl and Carla Hamlin. We make ours twice her size. So there are as many different ways and sizes to make pierogi as there are people in the world.
Yeah, for sure. This, to me, if I was to go 3 times as small, that would make a small pierogi, or dumplings, I guess, which we call puszka, little ears that are soup dumplings. So they're normally filled with not dried mushrooms, wild mushrooms that have been rehydrated and cooked. Those are normally served on Christmas Eve. So they would be tiny little guys, and I only make them once a year because they're pain in the butt, because they're super tiny, and come on. And then this size kind of works for me. It's kind of a 2-bite size. So, smacznego. All right. Next question. Cheryl Chechiva. Just added to today's schedule to tune in. Thanks, Cheryl. I hope you're watching. I have your question. Do you ever make czarnina? Not, I guess not pierogi related, but Polish food related. Czarnina is a Polish duck soup that has a little bit of blood added to it. Yes, I make czarnina about once a year, normally around the holiday season, not for Christmas, but when there are people home to eat it. I will have a bowl. My husband won't, uh, but my dad likes it a lot. My parents like it, so I make it about once a year. Video like this about Christmas food. Sherry O'Mara or Mira. What is the difference between pierogi and pelmeni? So Palmini, I believe, are Russian or Ukrainian pierogi, and I think the difference is just the name. But fillings are probably similar. I'm sure there's a bunch of potato and onion and a bunch of sauerkraut, but don't have much experience in our friends behind our Easter border. We have a lot more questions and not a lot more time. Erin Bennett. My grandmother was from Poland and came to USA when she was 12. She made cheese pierogi with farmer's cheese, butter, Idaho potato, egg, and cream cheese. Very good. Is that a Polish tweaked recipe? I would say that this is a tweaked recipe. Potato, egg. I've never seen pierogi with egg in the filling, but that sounds good. I mean, I'd eat it. If I thought about it, I'd probably make it too. If it has potato in it, it's Polish. Or cabbage. Linda Lankowski. Probably pronounced in America Lankowski. My grandmother's pierogi dough recipe called for 6 eggs and dough and enough flour to hold it together. Most other recipes I see have fewer eggs. Some have oil. What's the difference? Different geographical preference. I think this may have ventured into like Italian version of ravioli more. I think Italians make their ravioli dough with eggs and flour only, without adding any water to it. But us cheap Polacks use water and flour because it's cheap, and that's what we have. And if you're lucky to have an egg, you add an egg. I mean, this was, years ago when our parents were trying to stretch all the ingredients and stuff. I need you to laugh at my jokes.
I'm sorry, my YouTube feed is spinning over here.
Okay.
This is working, it seems, but I think mine just has gone wonky.
All right, I got a question from Brooke Orson Murus. What if any is the most unusual filling you have made? My family goes nuts for sweet potato with cinnamon filled pierogi. I think most unusual one. I don't know if there's an unusual one that I've had before. Most surprising to me that I haven't had in years and years and years. And then when we moved back to Poland, we went out to a restaurant here in Szczecin, and I ordered buckwheat, farmer's cheese, and I think it either had like cranberries or I can't remember what else was in there, but they were just so delicious. I couldn't get enough of them. Once in a while, I think it had cranberries and walnuts even. Every few months I'll go there and order a batch, and they come boiled like this too, with okrasa, with bacon and onion topping. Super good. Sweet potatoes and cinnamon filled. I could probably dig that.
Oh yeah.
I'm afraid it would be a little mushy though, because sweet potato gets mushy. Maybe it needs a little binder. Maybe mixed mix with, here I go, farmer's cheese. But I would do a sweet version, topped with sour cream and sprinkle of sugar. That would be my version.
Some lady named Ann Bogstead says hi.
Oh, hi, Annie.
I don't know who that is.
I love Annie. She's my friend. Andrea, I don't know how to pronounce this. Knoche.
Let
Nochi?
me see.
Andrea, I spelled it. What's it?
Knoke.
Knock. Knock. No, don't be rude.
Knoke, I said.
Okay. Which is the original recipe for pierogi? With plums or with curd? I think curd is the curd, the farmer's cheese, dry farmer's cheese. I'm guessing. I'm asking you, my lovely husband.
Say again, I'm sorry, I was reading. What?
Curd. What is curd?
It's the little nugget in cottage cheese.
Yeah.
There's the curd in the way.
Uh-huh,
The curd
okay.
is a
So-
solid part of the
So
cheese.
I'm guessing this is what Andrea meant. I would guess the curd is the original recipe. Plum, again, we don't use plum a lot in pierogi. We save it for knedle, delicious knedle with with plums, and then you put a bunch of buttered breadcrumbs on top of that and sugar. Oh, delicious. To die for.
Want another internet question?
Sure.
Best way to freeze and store pierogi.
I already talked about that.
Okay.
Where were you?
Reading.
And Konopinski. What are the best tools for making pierogi? Are the shapers that you put the dough over and the filling. Oh my goodness, I can't even read anymore. Can you read this for me?
I can read that for you.
My English is not so well today.
Oh, I got you, baby. What are the best tools for making pierogi? Are the shapers that you put the dough over and the filling and then you close it? And is the seals, or is it worth money?
I know.
Is it worth the money?
I know what they're saying.
Yeah, they're like shapers,
Yeah.
like burger formers, but with.
So to me, it's
Pierogies.
kind of a waste of time because, like, by the time I put the dough on top of the shaper and then the filling in there, and then by then I've already made one. So for someone who doesn't want to play around with the pinching, it's probably okay tool. I wouldn't say it's all crap, I guess. Try it if it works for you, great. If not, go old school. What say you?
I say old school,
Yeah.
all the way.
Me too. Mary Skibinski. Shh, don't tell babcia. I have made pierogi with cheese, sugar, and mini chocolate chips. I have put green. Grandma's not listening, so we're good. I have put green food coloring in the dough for Irish St. Patrick's Day. Great idea. I do have a shamrock lapel pin that says "Kiss me" on Polish. I have layered cheese potato pierogi to make a poached lasagna. Has anyone else used pierogi in an unusual way? I will leave this as a question to our viewers. What have you done in unusual way with pierogi? Again, I'm kind of old school. I like to eat them out of water like this with garnish, and I don't know. I guess I'm just maybe set in my ways a little bit about about this national dish. Just going nostalgia, classic. But my hungry friends out there, please tell us, what have you done that's kind of different and weird like this that Mary mentioned.
Another reminder to our friends out there, there's somebody named Yakir Cools 3 that's posting links to crap. Don't
click
click on it.
I believe I've banned him from our
Yeah,
page,
he's
but
back.
somehow it's a public event, I think, so he can, I don't know, it's just bots probably. Alright, well, Bernadette Rolnia Gray, what kind of pierogi is most traditional in Poland. Here, potato and cheese seems to be. So I would say there's a few most traditional pierogi filling here in Poland. One would be definitely sauerkraut and wild mushrooms. Those are always served for Christmas Eve, as it is a vegetarian dish, and Polish Christmas Eve is all vegetarian. Second would be meat filling, and again, this is not ground beef. It's beef. I mix mine with chicken, or I actually do duck filling also. But the meat is cooked, preferably boiled, and then minced and added spices, and then filled. Sweet cheese, definitely. Potato, farmer's cheese, and onion, or potato, farmer's cheese, and bacon. And our sweet pierogi, like the fruit filled with blueberry or strawberry. I would say those are the few that are most traditional ones. But now again, if you go out to Pierogarnia, which is a restaurant that just specializes in pierogi, you're gonna see all kinds of different fillings. And they do farmer's cheese and spinach now, which is really delicious. Those are a little bit more modern Polish cooking. Buckwheat, I imagine the buckwheat is also a traditional filling. I haven't had it in a really long time, as I mentioned, but that would probably be more traditional filling also. But they're starting mixing. I think you would be surprised if you came and saw the menus at some of those. We'll take you to one. Go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. I'll take you to Pierogarnia. We are at 1:23. We're staying for an hour today, so we got 7 more minutes.
7 more minutes.
In 2 more minutes, I'm gonna draw, or no, in another 5 minutes, I'm gonna draw our last gift. We have given out a cup and an apron so far. This last one is gonna be the book. I have a question from Sharon Sanyuk. Happy Pierogi Day. Anna, what is your favorite filling? Mine is my mother's recipe for cabbage and onions. Smacznego. Hi Sharon. Again, I was floored by this buckwheat and farmer's cheese one recently. But other than that, my favorite has always been sauerkraut and mushroom. And I love them. And I could eat them. I could just eat plates and plates and plates of them. And when we make them for Christmas, there's always not enough, because I eat them all. Marianne Tubelis. I've never had or made pierogi with fruit. What's the fruit to try making or eating them? If you're just joining in and hearing this question, for me, best fruit filling is blueberries. What you typing?
Rachel Kazabaki asked how often do we go live? And I said we haven't really done it very often, but more to come.
Yeah.
I think this is the second time you've gone live.
Yep, I think so. Bożena Mieczykowski is asking, do you add dried mint to your farmer's cheese potato pierogi filling? My grandmother did. So good. To farmer's cheese and potato. That sounds good. I haven't, but I will try it. Grandmother is a smart woman. Or was. Betty Bjorken. My grandmother made potato pies, shaped like a pierogi, but about 10 inches long, baked in oven, then sliced into pieces. Ate them dipped in butter and fried onions. Ever heard of this any recipe? I'm 68, so it was long ago. So this sounds like something that we called either pasztecik, which is more like it's a yeast dough, more like a pizza dough, that would be filled with, Betty says that grandmother made potato pies. Yeah, you can put potatoes or meat or sauerkraut and mushrooms, and they're called either paszteciki or crokiety, kind of depending on who's making them or who's naming them, and they're like a kind of a pizza dough filled with whatever filling of choice and then baked. They're delicious. And if you're in Poland, normally come with the size of beetroot broth to drink. It's delicious. I had one today, actually. All right, couple more minutes. This is from Michelle Walker. My favorite savory pierogi is potato and cheese. Do you have a recipe for farmer's cheese you use? Also, what is a popular sweet pierogi found in Poland? Yes, I do have a recipe for farmer's cheese on my website. You can go to polishyourkitchen.com and kind of search around. You can type into the search bar farmer's cheese or twaróg if you prefer that, and it'll pop up. It takes a couple days to make, but it's so worth it. I hope you try it. It's delicious. Homemade twaróg is the best. I wish I had time to make more at home. Popular sweet pierogi found in Poland. Yes, it's the sweet cheese, sweet farmer's cheese pierogi, or fruit filled, and tons of blueberry pierogi in the summertime here. All right, this will be our book. Aha, Tamala Garski. Where in Wisconsin were you an exchange student? I was an exchange student at Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Went to SPASH.
SPASH is Stevens Point Area Senior High School, for those not in the know.
Yep, that's where I met my husband.
Finest institution on the planet for educating people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Met my lovely husband there.
Yes, ma'am.
Didn't marry him in high school, if you were asking. And we have time for a couple more questions. Maybe I'm gonna do one last drawing for one more gift, because I'm feeling, what's the word? You're not listening.
Generous?
Generous, there you go, thank you. Aleksandra Włodek Wyruchowski. How old were you when you first started helping with pierogies? Probably, anytime anyone was making any at home, we were helping. Now, how old was I? I don't know. I was a small child, playing with the dough. I don't know if that counts as helping. Very little, I would say. 4 or 5 maybe, and never really thought about how old I was when I started making, because they're always present, I guess. All right. Carol Wagner, your dough recipe is so good. My first attempt at making pierogi was so good. I impressed myself. Thank you so much, Carol Wagner. And for that comment, you get a book. And that was my last giveaway for the day. Our time is up. I don't know who Carol Wagner is, by the way. Again, in case you missed it, our Polish Kitchen is not closed. Polish Your Kitchen's closed on Fridays because we're going to take you out. We're going to show you Poland. We're going to show you culinary Poland. We're going to take you to restaurants and to bakeries and to pierogarnia and to, where else we're going? To milk bars and
real bars.
And real bars and food markets and vegetable markets. So we're excited to get out of the kitchen for a little while and just explore Poland for you a little bit more, and show you how it really is out there. So head over to my YouTube channel, Polish Your Kitchen. I'll post links in the event, so it's easier to find. Again, thank you for coming over to my kitchen, and thanks for being with us and having fun. Don't pay attention to the bots that are posting crap in the comments. Anything else am I supposed to add?
Follow, like, and subscribe, and check out us all the time, and thanks for being cool and interacting, and
we're gonna go to bed now.
Yeah.
Because it's 1:30. Again, happy National Pierogi Day, my hungry friends. We love being with you. Come see us again. Dobranoc.